Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. And today let's take a closer look at these GEDORE 60-degree offset angle multi pliers. This is the 8248-160, made in Austria. Looks like a chrome-plated, fairly hefty design of a kind of a, what I like to call the lineman's, but it's known as multi pliers. And this particular guy has got a cutting teeth. It's got a trapezoid, kind of heavier tooth design, very reminiscent of Knipex. And then it's got plenty of front end flat grabbing with a very nicely finished tip. So you can grab very thin things right at the edge. No play whatsoever. It's very smooth. There is a little bit of resistance way out here at the end, but other than that, they tend to move quite easily. It uses sort of a comfort grip type handle. There is some sponginess to it. This rubbery, or this black part, is a little bit more grippy than the blue part. And then they put some sort of a texturing here. I'm not sure how you get up into that area, but that's what they did. Now, I've had these Irwins. These are probably made by NWS. These are made in Germany. These are Austria, similar. But this particular one, there's just something about the handle. It never sat comfortably in my hand. These also are spring-loaded. I mean, you could fire a rock across the room with that spring. That is probably the strongest plier spring ever, unlike Snap-ons, which has got to be the weakest spring ever. But more on that later, maybe. But anyway, I thought I'd try these out. I wanted to see what some GEDORE pliers were like. And this particular angle has come in quite handy. As you can see, it's also reminiscent of something like with the Knipex Cobras. And what this allows you to do, besides get into smaller recessed areas, it changes the leverage dynamic a little bit when you're pulling on things or twisting or whatever. And I discovered that even more with my C-Jet kind of scissors snippers tool. There's something about that angle here versus an angle sticking straight up or straight out. Now, a lot of surgical tools and dental tools, etc., use an angle because it clears the vision path as you're using the tool versus having your hand in the way. As you can see what happens when my camera's trying to focus, what it's grabbing on. It's grabbing, whatever is in the way, and that's my hand there. Plus, if you're using a flashlight, this gives you bigger workspace versus trying to go in and, with your hand kind of blocking some of the direction. I have others. I've got both the Snap-ons, and both these guys, they come in handy. They're a different kind of plier. These are there's a lot of capability similarities, but the reach, the angle, the pistol grip on these guys is, it's a different animal. This is more like what you might carry in a smaller tool kit and could be used in exactly the same way as most of the conventional kind of lineman multi-pliers. Can easily grab a hold of things. I did notice something here. Do you see that wobble? That wobble means it's grabbing on this side harder than it's grabbing on that side, and that seems fairly uniform. It's really pronounced here. So the seating of these pliers is different. If I squeeze hard, I lock it down. But with a little bit of pressure on it, you can see that swivel. That's because it's grabbing on this end before it grabs on this end. Not a big deal, just something I noticed. As far as cutting, pretty good. You can see not perfect there. That's when I got all the way down into the joint. When I'm outside it works pretty well. I did notice the finish work. There's this little tiny sharp piece sticking up there. You can kind of see how they had to machine this stuff in. Is it perfect? No. But these are $35 pliers on Amazon. But I am going to knock that one down. I thought it might just use it and see if I'd just break off, but there is a a little bit of a sharpness there I want to get rid of. You can see that. Anyway, I like the color, like the fit in the hand. They seem way more comfortable than these guys for some reason. They seem like they'd be just nicer to use over time. And I haven't had a pair of GEDORE pliers before. So I'm just exploring more tool spaces. So what I like to do is go into areas, not only is it a different brand, but it also is a different kind of plier. But obviously, you know, if this was stacked on top of a conventional handle, you know, it would seem very much like those those Knipex pliers that I really like, that I now have 3 pairs of. But anyway, there it is, the GEDORE 8248 160 60 degree 160 millimeter long multi plier. With that, Doc out.